We're just 2 weeks away from the WWE Royal Rumble in St. Petersburg, Florida. But first, we gotta talk about shows like this in Lincoln, Nebraska. Who thought having a wrestling show in January in Lincoln, Nebraska in the middle of a goddamn winter storm was a good idea? Who's routing this shit? Behold the game's nose. The gaming nose. No offense against Lincoln, Nebraska, but my oh my, I think these people would have rather been in their homes not fighting the inclement weather, the incredible amount of just scary weather going on there. But nevertheless, I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from, yes, the Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska. I hope everybody got there safe. I hope everybody got home safe. Like, honestly, I saw some of the footage that the wrestlers were tweeting out, and even other people, some fans were tweeting, yeah, this is what we're going through. I don't know much about Nebraska, and I know Lincoln, Nebraska, Cornhusker country, they do love their sports. And they have a 15,500 seat capacity arena that I'm sure would have been a lot fuller had they not run it in fucking January. The entire country is pretty much going through the beginning or the middle or hopefully the end of a winter boom. It's like under 15 degrees here at night for the next few days. Yeah, on my side of the state. And we're not usually that cold. We're not built for this shit. Enough about the weather. This show is alright. I'll see if I feel like reviewing Smackdown going forward. The shows, once again, are not giving me much to go on. There's nothing wrong with this show, and I do hope that Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory are all right after that incredibly scary bump from something that it should have been routine, but it was a bad idea. That being said, Jim Uso and Solo attack Cameron Grimes. We're not going to the moon. And Grayson and Theory were already there, and they said, we're going to be over here. And I don't know why I gradually turned into, Patrick Warburton from Family Guy. Peter, I'd like to go with you, but I'm welded to the ground. So anyway, Heyman is talking about the four-way, because now the bloodline, without Reigns, are in the ring. Here's Aldis. And Aldis basically says, it's going to be a six-man tag. It's going to be you guys and Roman Reigns. Oh, Roman Reigns isn't here? We'll find somebody, or otherwise it's going to be a 3-on-2 match. Because Nick is putting everybody in all just wrong places. Oh yeah, bad puns. I'm going to do some bad puns here. So, Heyman basically says he'll fix this. Solo ain't worried. I ain't scared, as the kids say. I am 43 years old and totally white saying that. By the way, thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I did just turn 43 years old on the 10th. And thank you guys very much. It's been a hell of a goddamn ride. For 43 years. Hell of a ride of doing content on this channel for about 10 years now, actually. Even though I've deleted some videos and done some stuff where I've basically short and centered it down to around an 8-year period, it has actually been a hell of a ride, and I thank you very much for sticking along with me. More wrestling, movie reviews, and fun. Let's just get going with this. So, LWO Hollywood of Wild and Cruz with Selena, who can barely see over the top rope and barely see over the bottom rope. I mean, it doesn't matter if she's standing, sitting, or, doing a handstand. That being said, LWO Wolfpack of Garza and Carrillo. And Santos is on commentary. There was nothing wrong with this. Somebody had a Kimmel's on the list sign. Good education system there. Aaron Rodgers is a fucking asshole. Just want to say that, regardless of how you feel, left, right, or center. Aaron Rodgers is a goddamn idiot, and Pat McAfee has pretty much been on everybody's shit list for giving a platform to a guy that has sustained more head trauma than Benoit, Jimmy Snuka, and a bunch of wrestlers put together. Carlito shows up from behind. Of course, a Cologne is doing an attack from behind. At least they avoided the shower. Call an ambulance. Nevertheless, Santos' team won. I forget exactly how, and I don't necessarily care, because I was writing something, and I go, oh, it's over, and whatever. I don't really give a shit. Honestly, nothing wrong with this match. I just don't care about this feud. Aldis is with Hayes, interrupted by Waller and Theory. We're getting Hayes versus Theory later. And Carlito blows off Heyman and takes his apple. That's not a euphemism. Heyman actually had an apple for him. Logan pre-tape where he might as well just called somebody a duty head. Yes, shout out to a particular friend of mine to point out that the insults were not very good. And he's going to get Owens' cast banned before the Rumble. I believe I said that was going to happen. I believe a lot of people said that was going to happen. Peter Dunne and Tyler Bate are talking in a coffee shop somewhere, likely on the Starship Enterprise, of how this was shot. We're getting Peter Dunne back. Pete Dunne is coming back. The Bruiserweight. Finally, I guess the Brawling Brutes are just done. Ridge is in NXT and Sheamus is in purgatory or injured. I think he's injured. And probably going to be injured a while if they're not going to bother even, having a graceful exit for this particular team or trio. Bianca took on Bayley in a match where they took it seriously. 5-on-1. Oh, no. Damage Control thought that Bayley could handle it on their own. There were multiple times where Bayley's like, why aren't you guys attacking? Please, you're my friends. Help me, Spock. Help me. There was a point where Bianca's hair was tied to the ropes. And, of course, some of the people in Lincoln, Nebraska would not react much to a minority being tied up in the ropes. I'm just going to say, read up on a particular hate crime that happened. So, nevertheless, Nebraska never changed. It's not that everybody there is like that, but yeah. So, there's a big elbow drop for 2. It did get messy. There was a post spot that was actually pretty goddamn brutal. And eventually a spear, because everybody's doing a spear. I think the producer did a spear outside attacking a bird recently. And then KOD 1, 2, 3. And Owen says, how about we have a face-to-face next week on the KO show, Logan Paul? Oh boy. And Dakota's like, we thought you could win on your own, and we thought you could make it after all. And then they threw their hats in the air, and oh boy, they wondered where their hair went. I kid. And you can win the Rumble on your own. We're not going to damage control you. Why would you think that, Bayley? So Lashley and the Profits show up, and then the lights go out. Here's Paul Ellering, because this is Thriller with a white glove night. And then we go to... we have wonky camera work. We go to a pre-tape with Cross and Scarlett talking about AOP. Yeah, you know me. And they're called The Final Testament. This is a really, really bad idea. Not bringing Ellering back. I love Ellering. Putting Ellering with somebody legit would be good. This is terrible. Heyman blows off Pretty Deadly. Can create a blow off Pretty Deadly. Can you make them actually look like wrestlers instead of goofs? Package on Carmelo, and here he is. And then Heyman tries to get Lashley to join him. And Lashley says, the only way I'm going to have anything to do with the Bloodline is if I'm facing off against the tribal queef, Roman Reigns. Carmelo and Theory had a match that I didn't really care about, but I did see the finish. Very scary. Theory really landed on his neck. Melo kind of landed on Theory's neck as well. So hopefully it's a stinger or just nothing more than maybe ringing his bell. And hopefully he's all right. I'm not a fan of Theory, but I hope he's all right. And... apparently, according to people there, they walked out under their own power, but with medical staff, the match was called off. Solo ain't worried. Then Solo and Jim Uso attack Orton, and Orton takes it right in the throat hard from Solo. Takes it hard, repeatedly. Man, Solo just loves taking it to a man's throat. And Styles and Knight, with Orton coming in later, took on Solo and Jim Uso. Tension where Styles would not tag out to LA Knight. Here's Randy Orton, because they have to manage his minutes, because Randy Orton is done by next year's Mania. He's not going to wrestle anymore. And same with Styles. And they're around the same age, by the way. I think Orton's actually a few years younger, but he had that back surgery. So, RKO for 3. We get a melee. Knight and Styles still are having tension. Beatdown. And then and then we get the shield bomb right through the announcer's table. Ooh, raw. And there you go. That's it. I actually didn't have anything against this, but I just felt like crumpling up these notes just for fun. Nevertheless, if you see SmackDown reviews going forward, okay. If you don't, whatever. I'm managing it on a week-by-week basis. I know I said this before, and I did take a break from reviewing SmackDown for a while. And it's not that I don't get enjoyment from some segments, but the weekly programming has really started to grate on me. And this goes for both major U.S. companies that I review. Nevertheless, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.